The overture to Hello, Dolly.
spinsters recommend, just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts, and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly if your eldest daughter needs a friend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maiden aunts, and she'll match him up. Call on
social introductions. Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable conditions, in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning service today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband, Mr. Ephraim Levi, always said, that means he's got at least 60,000 cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I might also mention I'm available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short distance hauling, oh, and varicose veins reduced.
Come on, Dolly. She's the one the spinsters recommend. Just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maid, and she'll snatch him up. Come on, Dolly.
Mrs. Levi.
Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do those silhouettes with scissors and black paper. Here's one of Ada Rehan looking the other way. Oh, I have to do them like that. I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time...
Oh, but we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, he will also dance at your wedding. And not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband, Mr. Levi, always said, marriage is a bribe. To make a housekeeper, think she's a householder.
I know all about that, Mrs. Levi. Half New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper, and can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone. Oh, whatever I'll throw, I'll see. And, well, what do you think of that? I have nothing here to pay my train fare with, only large bills, 5, 7.
I have some change here somewhere, Mrs. Levi. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase.
Oh, and speaking of poultry, I am also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi!
Just name the kind of man your sister wants, and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maid, and she'll match him up. Call on Dolly.
Oh, now don't hesitate to come. Oh, not at this.
Tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew. I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push? So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there, and a girl over 6 foot loves a man who comes up to her ear. Surely it's obvious she'll never be seduced, just some nice soul condescends to give her beau a little boost. So I put my hand in there.
It's all very well, Mrs. Levi, but the train is leaving as we
Don't you worry. I have always been a woman who arranges things. It's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My aplomb at cosmetic art turned a front to a trump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but oh, today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge. I put my hand in there. gets sold a little. When I use my fist a little, some young bride gets kissed a little. Pressure with the thumbs. Matrimony comes when I put my hand in the
Mrs. Levi!
I know, Mr. Kemper. The Yonkers train is ready to leave. Now, you go buy our tickets, get a window seat, order lunch, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money and send it out circulating among the people like rainwater, the way you taught me. And I want a sign from you sometime today that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim. Tired of living from hand to mouth. And so I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi!
Sometime today. Now, don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers. He'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. Oh, when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden gets the giggles. Then I make my knuckles active. My, he says she's so attractive. Then I use my index digit, and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm. The preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in there.
With all that bellowing in my ears.
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Kemper.
And I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17. And in another year, I'll be an old maid.
Well, I forbid it. You dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I will cut you off without a cent. Now, go cry in the store.
Oh, I can't help it. I'm unhappy.
Well, then, by thunder, you'll go weep for a while in New York where it won't be noticed. Now get upstairs and pack your trunk.
I don't want to.
And don't get any tears in the lock. It was just oiled. Cornelius, Barnaby.
You stamped Mr. Vandergelder?
I did. I've got news for the two of you. See, I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 14th Street Association Parade, and when I come back, you are going to have a mistress.
But I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Not yours, hell and damnation mine.
Oh.
I mean, I'm getting married again. In honor of the occasion, I've decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are, and I've decided to promote you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
Ah, so that's how you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir! You will tend to the store as usual. Now get back to work. And don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off. Marrying artists. Foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools. And the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. I was once young, which was foolish, got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which was more foolish than anything else. And then my wife died. which was foolish of her. I grew older, which was sensible of me, became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Oh, I know what you're wondering right now. Why a man of so much good sense would be thinking of something as foolish as getting married again. Well, the answer is simple. This house without a woman would be an empty shell. Pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft Dresden fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
Would you get back to work? The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing and bluing and shoeing the mare. And it takes a female for setting the table and weaning the Guernsey and cleaning the stable.
Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
Get back down there! And so she'll work until infinity reaches for femininity.
Rah, 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 F-E-M-I-T-Y.
F-E-M-I-T-Y? Now get out of here! And in the winter she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the traps for the mice. She's a joy and treasure, for practically speaking, to whom can you turn when the plumbing is leaking? All right, come on up. Well?
You, that dainty woman, that grandchild woman,
That sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman,
A husky woman
to bring you the sweet things in life. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life.
Now get out of here, all of you!
Congratulations, congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you have practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible young ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Did I say that? Slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I'm delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. By that I mean, you know what people said, although I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Oh, nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. I mean, according to all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. Just that he went so sudden. A few spoons of chowder she made special for him, and... Oh, but it can happen to anyone. No, there's no truth in it. Just one word of advice, Mr. Vandergelder. Eat out.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Do you mean to say...
I mean to say nothing, Mr. Vandergeld, just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. Oh, beautiful. You should see it. Black. Well, as I said, Mr. Vandergeld, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in peace. I mean, may guardian angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Now, Mrs. Levi, you introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I intend on calling on her this afternoon, as arranged.
Very well, Mr. Vandergelder, then there's nothing more for me to do but go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
Well, what did you say?
Oh, nothing. A word. Heiress.
Ooh, particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name? Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will, hair as shiny as a newly minted dime, eyes as big, round as silver dollars, skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age, 19. Weight, 102. Waist, 47.
Waist 47?
That's with the money belt. Now, I could arrange for you to meet this Ernestina this very afternoon.
No, I ain't got time, Mrs. Levi. You see, I gotta bring my niece, Ermengarde, to New York till she forgets a certain Ambrose Kemper.
I can do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
And then I'm marching in the 14th Street Parade.
Oh, what an amazing coincidence. Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float? The spirit of 14th Street, Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right. I'll meet Miss Money at the parade, but I still intend on paying a visit to Mrs. Malloy first.
Oh, dear, what races you make me run. Very well, Mr. Vandergelder, then I'll meet you on that bench in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
One more thing. Suppose that I decide against Mrs. Malloy, and I don't like Miss Money neither.
Well, then I have one more name on my list, Mr. Vandergelder. A name I know as well as my own. But let's not go into that now. It'll come up by itself all in good time. Don't you worry about that. Oh, but wait until you see Ernestina Horace. A vision, a dream.
It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft resin fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman. Da-da. Yes, in blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, come on out here. We've got plans to make.
Chief clerk. Promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good, in 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. I'm 33 years old. I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
You can live on holidays, Cornelius.
Do you remember what we did last Christmas? All those canned tomatoes went bad and exploded, and you and I cleaned up the mess all afternoon. Do you call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some more rotten tomato cans are going to explode.
Holy kabooses! Well, how do you know?
I'm going to light this candle under them. That's how I know.
Oh.
It'll make such a smell. Customers won't be able to come into the place for 24 hours. That'll get us an evening off. We're going to New York, Barnaby. We're going to live. We're going to have a good meal. We're going to be in danger. We're going to spend our money. We're going to be arrested.
Holy kabooses!
one more thing. We're not coming back to Yonkers until we've each kissed a girl.
You can't do that, Cornelius. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old. I've got to begin sometime.
Well, I'm only 17. It's not so urgent for me.
Barnaby, New York. Elevated trains, Barnaby. The lights of Broadway. The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
Stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale.
Holy compulsions!
What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing to do is make you financially independent. I know. I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
I am an artist, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well, then my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi, painters taught how to dance.
Now, there's a man, Rudolph Reisenweber, at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street. I'll give you a note for him. And we'll see if he can't have you both entered in the polka contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a gold cup. Oh, the cups we won, Ephraim and me.
Now, you hold on a minute, Mrs. Levi. No fiancé of mine is going to set foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying I'm surprised you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper, friends. Dear friends from days gone by. My late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life. And any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad. Every Saturday night, like clockwork, down those stairs to the Harmonia Gardens we came, Ephraim and me.
Well, it's all very well to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
Oh, now it's the only way to show Horace Band together we mean business. Now, you go to the Harmonia Gardens this afternoon. Say Mrs. Levi sent you. And incidentally, tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back, and I want a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
Hey, hold the candle under the... Hold it. The ones at the bottom look all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candle under the ones on top. Oh, not so close. They're swelling up like they're ready to bust. Holy compulsions! Cornelius, I can smell it up here.
Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Out there, there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out the brilliantine and dine cigars. We're gonna find adventure in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfumed night where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's and we'll close the town in a whirl. And we won't come home until we kiss the girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out.
Strut down the street and have your picture took.
Just like a dream, your spirit seems to turn on the...
That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get up your feathers, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows, for there's no blue Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Just like a dream, your spirit seemed to turn alone. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath your parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your sandals, your patent leathers, your beads and buckles and bows. Oh, there's no Monday in your Sunday clothes. Beneath your bowler brim, the world's a simple song. A lovely lilt that makes you tilt your nose. Get out your slickers, your flannel knickers, your red suspenders and hose. Oh, there's no Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Ermengarde, stop sniveling. Don't cry yourself to pieces. We haven't missed the train yet, thank the Lord. Lovely, you're improving. Now get all of my valises. We're 7 minutes late. All aboard! All aboard!
Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Put on your silk cravat and patent shoes. For I can feel adventure in the evening air. To town we'll trot to a smoky spot where the girls are hot as a fuse. Put on your high silk hat and that unturned-up cuff. Go wear a handmade bracelet, button glove. We'll join the Astors and Tony Pastors and this I'm positive of. Everyone come home! Everyone come home! Everyone come home until we fall in love! We'll wear a handmade graceway parting glove. We'll join the Astors and Tony Pastors and this I'm positive of. Everyone come home! Everyone come home! Everyone come home until we fall in love!
Oh dear. Oh my. Would you look at that? 10 o'clock and the shop not open yet. Well, it's all because of the impending marriage, I tell you. What marriage? Well, I thought you knew. Why, the marriage Mrs. Levi is arranging between Mr. Horace Vanderbilder, the well-known yachter and half the millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he'll never take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. May he rest in peace wherever he is, I'm not sure. He was a caution, you know. It's all too much, what with late husbands and new marriages, and on top of everything else, Miss Mortimer returning this hat for the 3rd time. Same old story. She wants more cherries and feathers. Cherries and feathers. To catch a beau, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd do better with a nice, heavy veil. I told her, ribbons down our back is what we'll be wearing this summer if we want to catch a gentleman's eye. But she'd have none of it. Cherries and feathers is what she wants. On today, of all days, when that poor, dear, sweet Mrs. Malloy has enough on her mind going on. With what, Minnie? With the door. It's stuck. It's stuck? Then push. You won't know what I'm saying much, but as I was saying, Mrs. Malloy, I could find out my tongue for the things I've said and for the things I'm going to say. But I'm going to say them anyway. Mrs. Malloy, why... Mrs. Malloy, why...
Say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandergelder?
Malloy, I did not ask you that. Well, I would rather die on the rack than ask you such a personal question. But since you did bring it up...
I am marrying Horace Vandergelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get out of the millinery business. I hate hats.
Mrs. Malloy.
And I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Mrs. Malloy.
Now, don't protest, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why I can't go into restaurants or balls or theaters. That's all the proof they need. Now, take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandergelder or I burst out of this place like a fire engine. Oh, no, not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer. I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie, you leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you like. I'm wearing this one.
Mrs. Malloy, you can't. Well, you're a widow, and that hat, it's provocative, that's what.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who might walk into the shop today, and provocative might just be what I want to be.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy.
I'll be wearing ribbons down my back this summer. Blue and green and streaming in the yellow sky. So if someone special comes my way this summer, he might notice me passing by, and so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow behind me that might happen to catch a gentleman's eye, and he might smile and take me by the hand this summer, making me recall how lovely love can be. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me. And so I will proudly wear ribbons down my back, shining in my hair, that he might notice me.
Mrs. Malloy, wild horses couldn't make me ask this next question I'm about to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Mrs. Malloy, do you love Horace Vandergelder?
No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for any woman, as long as it's true love. And it was that. Minnie, there are two men staring into the shop.
Men?
Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
Men? In the shop? Oh, Mrs. Malloy, what shall we do?
Do? Why, flirt with them, of course. I'll let you have the short one.
No,
enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I could do with now. We'll get them all heated up and then we'll drop them cold. It will be good practice for married life. Now, Minnie, you go into the workroom. I know of some ways that we can perk up our appearances. Besides, a bit of a wait will only make them nervous and easier for us to...
If you say vamp, I'll scream.
Vamp! And so I'll try to make it easier to find me in the stillness of July, because a breeze might stir a rainbow up behind me that might happen to catch a gentleman's eye. Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long we wander around New York and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the city and suddenly...
The Vandergelter!
Is he still out there? Go look.
Oh, he's sitting on that bench! Cornelius, are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know it, all right. How much money have you got left?
Well, there's 40 cents for the train back, and 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents why?
Well, when those women come out, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is to make them think we're rich.
Oh.
Then we won't have to spend anything. Here, we're two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
Well, you see, we're two ladies about town looking for some hats. We want a hat. For a lady, of course. Everybody said go to Mrs. Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And reasonable, Cornelius. As reasonable as under $1 would still leave us enough to see the whale.
Oh, you'll have to pay him no mind, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers to see the stuffed whale, and he's all excited. Just keep an eye on that street, Barnaby. Maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and black with mean little red eyes?
Yes.
Sit right on that bench.
Excuse me, but did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yonkers. Forgive me for saying this, but you should see Yonkers. By that, I mean that perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers, too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! That's too bad. I'm sure that Mr. Malloy would have enjoyed Yonkers, especially in that hat. I mean on you, of course, not Mr. Malloy. May he rest in peace. You're Catholic, aren't you? Don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever happen to have a Sunday free in the near future, I'd be more than pleased to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in
Do you?
Yonkers. Perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
Oh, of course, it's always so foolish to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's Mr. Vandergelder.
Horace Vandergelder?
Vandergelder hay and feed?
Do you know him?
No.
No? No.
Mr. Vandergelder's a very substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
Lovely man, Mrs. Malloy, just lovely. Has only one fault as far as I know. He's hard as nails.
Cornelius, I think
I wonder if your friend might like one of these.
Look out!
Begging your pardon, Mrs.
What
Malloy.
are you doing?
Rufus, Mrs. Malloy will explain later. Oh,
There's a fruit.
Come out of there! Look out!
We're innocent as can be, Miss Malloy.
Oh, now really, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, come out of there this instant or I shall be... Shh! Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is in here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, if she comes, she can just go looking for me, that's all. I mean, when I make an appointment, I expect people to be on time. Here. It's a present for you. It's chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Oh, did I just see you in here talking to two men?
Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder. What would men be doing in a ladies' hat shop? Now, come with me into my workroom, Mr. Vandergelder. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did. Mr. Vandergelder, what's new in the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends all hard as nails. I mean...
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. Mr. Vandergelder, Yonkers. I hear it's a lovely city.
Oh, and who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
Oh, well, what friend?
Well, you see, he? Ow! Customer, Mr. Vandergelder. A very well-to-do gentleman customer in here buying a hat for a lady, of course. Perhaps you know him. Of course, it's always so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say Hackle?
Yes, Mr. Vandergelder?
Well, he happens to be my chief clerk, that's all. Now, Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why shouldn't you know Cornelius Hackle? Everyone in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. He's here at the Opera, in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
That's impossible. He's only got $146.35, and I keep that in my safe.
Oh, Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The Payary. Both?
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter at the 5th Avenue Hotel, dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's... Oh, I can't say it. Oh, but it was Cornelius. Oh, he's a playboy of New York. Now, don't deny it, Irene. I can see you were taken with him just like every...
Really, I only met him the one time. I really
charming. I couldn't
Excuse me. There's a man in there.
Now, see here, if there's a man in that...
No, Mr. Vandergelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
Oh, no man who hides in ladies' closets can frighten me. Now, stand aside.
Oh, no man indeed. I'm sure you'd make short work of any man. Those muscles. I can see them now rippling back and forth underneath your coat. Ripple, ripple, ripple back. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, will you stand aside?
Stand indeed, Mr. Vandergelder. That's exactly what the courts will want to know when you're accused of entering that closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if you don't stand for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see him on the hill at Gettysburg? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you see him as he's tramping through the grapes of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? Why I came to this country as a 14-year-old orphan girl from a land that oppressed her people. And I must echo the words of that great and patriotic American, Moses. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hat, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing. Do you see him on the bridge at Waterloo? Neath that great triumphal arch. If you hear him singing Dixie in the sugar cane, gentlemen, march, march, march. I stand for Alamo. Remember the Alamo. I regret that I would like to give for my country. In the words of Lincoln, 1 if by land and 2 if by sea. Instead, I chopped that cherry tree down. Oh, Stonewall Jackson, glory, glory, hallelujah. Gentlemen,
be a man in that closet. God bless you.
Mrs. Malloy?
Yes, all right, Mr. Vandergelder. There is a man in that cupboard. And another one under that table.
What the devil?
And there also happens to be a very logical explanation. But for the moment, good afternoon. Good Lord, the whole room's crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder?
Yes, indeed you will, Mrs. Levi, with a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Mrs. Malloy.
Mr. Hackle, just you and Mr. Tucker kindly do me the pleasure of leaving my establishment, or I shall be forced to call Officer Doherty.
Well, if you ask me, Irene, calling an officer is letting them off too easy. The law courts, that's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and believe me, you've got grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis, and a garnishee. And now, the main thing is to show that you tried to settle it amicably first. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly? The way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee afterwards.
Well, if it must be. Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, you may take Miss Fay and myself to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now, I hear there's a very nice restaurant in Railroad
Oh,
Station.
no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends, it's good enough for us. I hear they have a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
Well, we couldn't go there, Mrs. Malloy. Oh, well, now, don't misunderstand. It isn't the money or anything like that.
It's the whale.
It's the whale. No, it isn't the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. You see, they have dancing in a place like that. Exhibitions, contests, and I don't know how. And it would take me weeks and months, years to... Mrs. Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerks, taught how to dance.
Now, it's simple. You put one arm here, one arm here.
It's no use. I have absolutely no sense of rhythm.
Absolutely no sense of rhythm is one of the primary requirements for learning by the Gallagher-Levi method. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle. I'll have you dancing in the streets. We'll start with lesson 7, the waltz, kick, turn. Now it's simple. Right foot touch, left foot touch, under, back, around, touch. Back, through, around, behind. Out, over, release, unfurl. Oh! Wonderful. What wonderful. When I think of the lucky women who will find heaven in your arms. Let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand with her right in your left hand. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing.
Oh.
Well, I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow, I'm dancing.
I should say so. Turn around and turn around. Try floating through the air. Can't you be?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I think I do is this athletic.
My heart is about to pop. My head is about to burst. And now that I'm dancing, who cares if I ever stop?
Oh,
Look at me, everyone! I'm
and then step and glide.
Now everyone, stand aside.
Look, she's dancing.
May I cut in? You could learn to polka if you worked a week or so, or the tango filled with passion seething.
I could join the chorus at the Castle Garden.
Oh, whatever you do, gosh sakes, keep breathing. Well, my heart is
about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
He's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music weave a spell, whirl away your worries. Things will go almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry as around and around you go.
back. The pain in the side. Oh, the stab in me liver.
Oh, I did just fine. Me daughter Fanny got married, you know.
Did she?
A year ago last September. See, I haven't lived here in such a very long time, Mr. Lingard. No, a very, very long, long time.
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every evening for all these years, I've put out the cat, I've locked the door, I've made myself a little rum toddy, and before I went to bed, I said a prayer, thanking God that I was independent, that no one else's life was mixed up with mine. Then one night an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life, and I suddenly realized that I was like that leaf. For years, I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other would turn out well. And so I've decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade passes by, before it all moves on, and only I'm left.
Oh, Mrs. Levi! Cornelius is taking us down to see the 14th Street Parade. Everybody will be marching.
Why, Irene, you're crying.
Oh, Dolly, the world is so full of wonderful things. Come with us, Dolly. Come with us.
I will, Irene. I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I'm gonna get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing my life with the rest of them, with the best of them. I can hold my head up high, for I'm gonna go again, I'm gonna drive again, I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead, isn't it here that grass already growing? Look at that crowd. Before the parade passes by.
everything you said and more. You wait right there, Miss Money. I'm coming. I'm on my way. Hey! Hey, you cut that out! That's my fiancé! Put those back! Those are belonging... Oh, hey, thief! Pickpocket! Hey, I paid for that girl and I want all the parts. Oh, no, Miss Money, what have they done to you? Mrs. Levi, what is the meaning of this?
Nothing to get upset about, Horace. A last-minute substitution. Miss Money had a sudden, urgent business appointment at the Mint. They ran a little short and she's helping out. But she'll meet you at the Harmonia Gardens, 7:30 tonight.
Well, that's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
And, well, it should be. What food. And the fastest waiters in New York. By the way, I may be a little late, so Miss Money will meet you in front of the restaurant. Oh, but wait until you see her, Horace. All of bloom in orchid and wrapped in raven's feathers and humming a sweet old-fashioned tune. Yes, sweet Rosie O'Grady. Couldn't miss her if you tried.
All right, Dolly, I'll be there, only because I already paid for the introduction and I want to get my money's worth. But from here on out, you are discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear? From now on, Dolly, you are just another woman like everybody else. Put me down! Put me down, I say!
Ephraim, he's as good as mine. I'm gonna raise the roof. I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone. Give me an old baton. Before the parade passes by.
Hey, how do you like the show so far? Good. Hey, you know what we're gonna do is give the band a chance to take a little breather and give you a chance to go empty out your pitchers or go to the bar and fill up your pitchers. And we'll be right back with the second act of Hello.
Swing it on over to Kevin and the gentlemen, and they're gonna play the overture or the entr'acte to the second act of Hello, Dolly.
We've just loved seeing the lights of 14th Street for the last 4 hours, Cornelius. But don't you think it's time we better call a hack, or we'll never make it to the Harmonia Gardens on time? Oh, there's one.
No, we couldn't do that, Miss Malloy. I mean, now, don't misunderstand me. It isn't money or anything. It's well, it's just that nowadays, really elegant people never take hacks.
Hacks is out.
They all go by streetcar.
J.D. Vanderbilt, Diamond Jim Morgan.
Well, then, by all means, a streetcar.
Imagine. Just think. I've been elegant all my life and never even knew it.
Of course, if you really want to be elegant,
We do.
you walk.
Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that, acting like a born aristocrat. We got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never, ever carry it on.
saucer never moves.
And the way I keep my pinky up indubitably proves that we've got elegance, we've got built in elegance, and with elegance we'll carry it on. Oh, look, Minnie. They're counting their money again. Isn't that just like the rich? Well, gentlemen, aren't you going to escort us in?
Of course we are, Mrs. Malloy. Barnaby. Mrs. Malloy.
Yes, Mr. Hackle.
Mrs. Malloy. As we start inside, may I...
Yes, Mr. Hackle.
May I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle.
Golly. I've never touched a woman before.
Well, you still haven't, Mr. Hackle. That's just my corset.
But Mrs. Levi says this is the only way to show your uncle we mean business. Can you weep a little faster? You're throwing me off step. Faster! Faster! That's it!
Sweet Rosie O'Grady, my sweet little rose.
Good evening, Maggie.
Und it is my honor as head waiter of the Harmonia Gardens and your supreme commander that tonight, of all nights, our usual lightning service shall be twice as lightning as ever. Or else! Good evening. Right this way, please. I trust that you will find this table satisfactory, sir. As a private dining room costs a bit more, but they do afford the best view of the entertainment.
$1.40, Cornelius. It's all we got left.
Are you sure?
Count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's biggest sports.
I did make a mistake. It's $1.35, but I'll have once more.
No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Waiter!
No.
reserved for Mrs. Levi's party.
And who do you think I am? Only it's Horace Vandergelder and party. She's in my and party. I ain't in hers.
And the name is Mr. Vandergelder, of course. It's just that Mrs. Levi mentioned nothing about bringing your...
My personal physician. It's enough rouge, doctor.
Mrs. Levi only ordered chicken for 2.
Chicken? Chickens are dear.
And pâté maison, soup du champ, un pomme soufflé.
Why didn't you say this was an Oriental establishment? We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out. Now, Miss Money, I understand you carry respectable sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2. I think I got it.
It's sweet of you to worry about our reputations, Cornelius, but Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided?
Well, I couldn't have anything at these prices. I really couldn't.
Great grindstones. What a sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread. Oh, Cornelius. Now I know how you keep half of New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever eaten pheasant?
Yay! Why the clothes, kid? You seem to be something.
No, I felt a sudden chill, that's all.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Here, I'll loan you this. Now I'm going something to hold us over until the rice comes. Whee! Could you bring out the roast duckling pig? Chestnuts and oyster dressing, cheese fondue, and some, lady fingers. Now, what are you gonna have? Hey, you with the big H, what are you doing out to the show?
It's sweet of you to worry about our digestion, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait a minute, no wine.
No wine?
Champagne.
Champagne.
Barnaby, it's once in a lifetime. Champagne. Neapolitan ice cream and hothouse peaches. And Barnaby, give the band leader a nickel. Tell them to play To a Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
The Vandergelders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
Alrighty, I'll dance myself. Give him $2 for the band leader. Tell him to play some real refined. I'm gonna do that. Hoochie coochie.
Fine, I'll sing for the band leader, but promise you won't order anything else.
Wait right here, Miss Money. Could you give this to the band leader? Tell him to play a nice waltz.
Here's a nickel for the band leader. You tell
Miss Money!
Yes?
Oh,
What?
my purse.
Oh,
Pardon
there
me.
it is. I'm sorry, I dropped my wallet on the floor. You
I
picked it up.
think
I was
that's
hoping
fine.
you could
Please, do you understand?
Thank you very much.
Miss Money, you're dancing in the
I
stew.
know it's fine because there's nothing in it but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and I go, holy kabouses! Cornelius! Did he say 2 pheasants, 3 pheasants, 4 pheasants? Pheasants for the house! And I don't care if I don't see the stuffed whale. I'll buy one of my own.
Sir, what is this? Shouting? How many times have I told you not to shout, boy? This is a Harmonia Gardens restaurant, not one of these other restaurants.
But she's here.
What? Are you sure, boy?
Yes, just like you said, 8 o'clock on the nose. Up pulls the carriage and out steps Liv's beautiful red hair. And the biggest handbag I've ever seen.
Oh, it's she! Mrs. Levi, she's back!
Rudolph, is it true? I thought I was the one outside the window, and it sounded like...
It is. It's Dolly. Fritz, turn the band. She just stepped out of her carriage.
Rudolph! It's true.
No, it's true. Yeah, she just stepped out of a gold and white carriage, pulled by 6 black horses with scarlet plumes. I heard of his like old times ago.
Oh, sir! Rudy! She's here.
Feel the room swaying, for the band's playing one of my old favorite songs from way back when. So bridge that gap, fellas, find me an empty lap, fellas, darling, you'll never go away again.
Hello, Dolly, well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you back where you belong. You're looking swell, Dolly, we can tell, Dolly. You're still growing, you're still growing, you're still growing strong. We feel the room swaying for the band playing one of your old favorite songs from way back when. So
Here's my hat, fellas, I'm staying where I'm at, fellas.
promise you'll never go away again.
I went away from the lights of 14th Street and into my personal haze. But now that I'm back in the lights of 14th Street, tomorrow will be brighter than the good old days.
Those good old days. Hello, hello, Dolly.
pardon me, girlie. Dolly. Dolly Gallagher, what are you doing in that getup? And you're half an hour late, and I demand an explanation.
Ernestina?
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted?
She wanted to do the hoochie coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Now, Horace, I'm going to have them move our table down front. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see.
I didn't come here to see dance.
Oh, that's fine. Now, that's Now, let's not say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What you wanted, a chicken. Now, about the hoochie coochie.
Did you say a chicken?
Yes.
No, I don't think I can face a chicken. Not a chicken, not today, not after what's happened.
Good, cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Oh, nothing. Just looking the place over, getting acquainted with the surroundings.
That is the trouble with you, Dolly. You always want to know everything. Always putting your nose into other people's affairs. Anybody who got married to you would get as nervous as a cat.
What's that you're saying?
Said anyone who got married to you would get as
Horace
nervous as a cat.
Vanderbilt, you get that idea right out of your head this minute. I'm surprised that you even mentioned such a thing. Understand once and for all that I had no intention of marrying you.
Well, I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. Horace Vanderbilt, you go your way and I'll go mine. I am not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. Why, the idea of you even suggesting such a thing.
Well, you, Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
Well, I certainly do hope not. But if I had any intention of marrying again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. However, we won't discuss it anymore. Here's the waiter with our food. I'll serve Mr. Vanderbilt, Rudolph. Here's
That's
some
not
white meat for
necessary,
you.
Dolly.
Oh, and dumplings. Oh, lighter than air they are. Oh, and giblets. Very tender, very good for you. Now, as I said before, Horace, you go your way. I'll go mine. Start right in on the wine, Horace. I think you'll feel better at once. However, since you did bring the matter up, there's one more thing I think I ought to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I think I should say before we forget all about it. It's true. I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes to manage things. But I would not like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well. Let's not say another word about it. Have some beets, Horace. They're good.
No, I don't like beets.
That's good. No, Horace, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like you is no sort of companion for me. You salt your beets, I'll salt mine.
Will you stop saying that?
I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this. At your age, Horace, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age, my age. You're always talking about my age.
Well, I don't know what your age is, but I do know that up in Yonkers with bad food and bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets. I hate beets.
That's nice. Now dig right in. Yes. You know, the pity of it is that you could be a perfectly charming, witty, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
Oh, but you are. Look at you now. You can't hide it. Now sit down. We'll talk something else. But before we change the subject, there's one more thing I am going to say.
Dolly, if you're wasting your breath. I'm not going to ask you to marry me.
Oh, I suppose that means you want me to ask you. Well, I'm sorry, Horace.
How can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything yet?
Oh, there's no use arguing. I've made up your mind. Here, let me cut your wings.
I don't want my wings cut.
No man does, Horace. No man does.
That's it. I've got a headache. Go back to the hotel.
Oh, you can't go now, Horace. The competition's about to begin.
Look, here's the money for the pay for the dinner. Here's $20. Wait a minute. There's nothing in here but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and a button. This isn't my purse. I've lost my purse.
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your purse.
This is terrible. They don't know me here. What am I going to do? Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Oh, Horace, look, it's the latest thing of polka. And there's one dancer I particularly want you to sing.
Get out of the way.
explain everything.
I don't want to hear any explanations. You are fired.
Officer! Of the
All right. Now, you've all been charged with inciting the riot, disturbing the peace, assault and battery, and several other equally serious violations of the laws of this city. Now, is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? Not say, is there anyone here? Mrs. Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests. No, ladies and gentlemen, there is no need to call witnesses. When I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor, a pair of whiskers that bristle with fair play, and a nose. I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at that nose. A nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Will you turn this way just a bit, Your Honor, so we can get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the motto of this great land, E probuscus unum. Your Honor, I ask for freedom for my clients, and a verdict of guilty for the only real culprit, Horace Vandergelder of Yonkers, New York.
Dolly!
The one man responsible for these grievous charges of willful destruction of private property.
A Karten Ton, a Beta Brust, und a solid gold cap. Bet!
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Levi, but if it please the court, I have something to say.
I was just about to call you, Mr. Hackle. You go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare to testify against me, you'll be discharged.
You've already done that, Mr.
Well, I'll
Vandergelder.
do it again.
You've done it again, too. Even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I had to say. I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting to riot, but I do know that what happened to me today, which is the most important thing that can happen to a man, might never have happened if I'd obeyed your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I'm talking about none other than love.
What? Are you trying to tell me that after 33 years, you have fallen in love simply because you took one evening off?
No, Mr. Vandergelder. I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this city in just an evening. An hour! Well, even that's too long. What's less than a minute?
A second.
Well, less than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can get it all down. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment that you'll never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved all life long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? There I sat, cooped up in Yonkers for years and years, And all the time, wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy were walking around in New York. I didn't know them at all. I don't know whether you can all see from where you're sitting. Well, for instance, the way her eyes and forehead and cheek come together up here. Well, can you? I tell you right now, a fine woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can talk all you like about Niagara Falls and the pyramids. They aren't in it at all. Of course, I've seen women before. But today, I talked to one, equal to equal. And they're so different from men. And they're awfully mysterious, too. I bet you could know a woman 100 years without ever being really sure whether she liked you or not. Today I've lost so many things. My job, my future, everything that people think is important. I don't care. Even if I have to be a ditch digger for the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
Ooh, I missed a few words back to Mr. Hackle right after, it only
Takes a moment, but his love still sure and strong. It only takes a moment.
He held me for an instant, but his arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long.
And that is all that love's about.
And we'll recall when time runs out
That it only took a moment
to be loved a whole life long.
Oh, all right, you're dismissed. You're all dismissed. All except Horace Vandergilder of Yonkers, New York.
What? You can't be serious.
You may see the prisoner now, Miss Levi.
Well, Horace, there's your life. Without niece, without clerks, without bride, and without your purse. Looks like there's only one more thing to say.
Well, if it's to get me to marry you, never, never in a million years, under no circumstances will I ever marry you, Dolly Levi.
Well, that wasn't it at all, Horace. All I wanted to say to you was, goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
Oh, now you wait a minute.
No, Horace, I failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing else she can say.
Wait.
But
Hey.
goodbye. 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 Don't try and stop me, Horace, please. Wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, you ain't gonna see me anymore. But when you discover that your life is dreary, don't you come a-knocking at my door, for I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie should have said so long ago, because you treated me so rotten and rough. I've had enough of feeling I can hear that choo-choo calling me on board that Happiness Express. I'm gonna learn to dance and drink and smoke a cigarette. I'm going as far away from Yonkers as a girl can get. And on those cold winter nights, you can snuggle up to your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Don't come a knocking on me all dolled up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So, Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see your Dolly shuffle off to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago.
Fine, just go then. Fine. Didn't want to marry you anyway, but I told you so. Crying out loud. How many times has a fella got to say something? Don't want to marry you, Dolly. Rather have my teeth pulled out. Jeez. I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Levi, if you were the last woman on earth. Now, if you asked me a million times, got along just fine without you before, get along just fine without you now. Dolly Levi, you go your way and I'll go mine. Oh. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly.
You stamped, Mr. Vandergelder?
Oh, so it's you, is it? Come crawling back to me, have you?
Oh, no, Mr. Vandergelder. I just stopped by for my $146.35. You see, I've decided to go into business for myself. Since the only business I know is hay and feed, I'm opening my own store.
And Cornelius has found the perfect location, Mr. Vandergelder, right across the street from you.
And you think you can compete with Vandergelders? Well, you just try it. And another one comes crawling back. What do you want?
My back salary for the past 4 months, $6.12.
You cannot do this to me, any of you. I will get lawyers. I will go to
Why,
court.
Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe, if you aren't handsome in that outfit.
Dolly Levi.
Oh, I know what you're going to say, Horace. You were not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, I have another girl for you, the ideal wife. Oh, but don't let me interrupt you. You were doing something. What were you doing?
We were just getting Cornelius's money, Dolly. $146.
And 35 cents.
Plus $6.12 of mine.
And the money my mama left me.
$52.48.
38.
48!
All right. If it's the money you want, the safe is upstairs. Come on. Move it. Will you stop that?
Money, 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 money. Horace Vandergelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or cure. Vandergelder's never tired of saying that most people in the world are fools. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Irene, Cornelius, myself, yes. We're all fools, and we're in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the surest way to keep us out of harm is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right in the world. And that takes a little money. Now, the difference between a little money and no money at all is enormous and can shatter the world. And the difference between a little money and an enormous amount of money is very slight and can shatter the world, too. It's all in how you use it. As my late husband, Mr. Ephraim Levi, always said, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not not worth a thing unless you spread it around, encouraging young things to grow. Well, anyhow, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Horace Vandergelder. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Well, don't just stand there. That goes upstairs.
Well, Horace, as I was saying, I have found you the ideal wife.
I don't want you finding me any more ideal wives, Dolly Levi. If I want an ideal wife, I'll find one for myself. And I found her, and it's you, damn it.
Why, Horace?
Oh, I know. I've been a fool about that Mrs. Malloy and that other woman. So why don't you forgive me, Dolly, and marry me?
Horace, you stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do, Horace, that you are the first citizen of Yonkers and that your wife would have to be a somebody. Answer me, Horace, am I a somebody?
You are. Wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. No, Horace. It won't be enough for you to load your wife with money and jewels, to insist she be a benefactress to half the town. Oh, by the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open up a store right across the street from you. Better take him back and make him your partner.
My partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius' old job.
What are you talking about?
That way we'll all be together so we can dance at Irvin Guard's wedding.
Oh, now you have gone too far. I will dance at no weddings. Besides, I don't know how. It'll probably take me weeks, months, even. All right, I'll dance.
Why, Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say a thing like that.
The front room, you idiot.
Horace Vandergelder, what is going on up there?
Oh, I decided to have that front room done over in blue wallpaper.
Horace.
I know the old wallpaper ain't worn out yet, but that fella's just set up in business and he probably needs a good start. You see, Dolly, I've always felt that money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless you spread it around, encouraging young things.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never knew, Dolly, without you, Dolly, life was awfully flat, and more than that was awfully wrong. So how about that first lesson?
Well, Horace, if you're up to it.
Oh, I'm up to it.
We'll start swimming.
All right.
Oh, Horace. I think you're going to be one of my favorite students.
I would hope so.
Here's my hat, Horace. I'm staying where I'm at. Horace, Dolly, you'll never go away.
Wonderful woman.
we'll keep it our little secret, Kate. Yeah, this show's gonna run for golly, probably 5 until June 9th is our last show. So you can come back and see us again and again. And how many people in here would not save a life if they had the opportunity? Raise your hand. How many people would? How many people would save a life if they had the opportunity? Go ahead. Would save a life. Would save a life. Just about everyone. Well, here's an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Listen really close. Listen, if you feel like you've had too much to drink tonight, please give the keys to somebody else and let them drive you home, okay? Or let one of us know, we'll make sure you get home all right. Ladies and gentlemen, out of all the audiences we've ever had here, Kevin, would you agree?
I would agree.
You guys have been one of them.